Welcome back to How to Save Like a Mennonite. And I am the Mennonite Miser, Rachel, and I will be your Mennonite Miser advisor. And today I also want to talk about transportation. Transportation is one of the things that's really hurting a lot of people. Those costs are just so high, and it's something that none of our ancestors, Mennonite or not, had to deal with. This is something new, and all of our living areas seem to be structured around long distances, so it's really difficult. The obvious ones are public transportation, carpooling. They have a lot of these new car sharing things you can look into. If you're not interested in public transportation per se, there's always alternatives where you can share the costs. There's also things like GasBuddy.com, which I will post. I love GasBuddy. If you type in your zip code, it will show you the cheapest gas in your area. This is really great. That's something that can help. It doesn't help a tremendous amount, but that can help. Obviously, another one is a bike. Bicycles are really helpful, and just walking where you need to go as well. Now, I know this is hard. I went without a car for an extended period of time, and I lived close enough to a grocery store. It was, wasn't like right next door. But I was also in university, and this is how I managed it. I got a granny cart for the store. That was amazing. I love my granny cart. And that's just a little basket that you carry around you, behind you. You drag it from the store. And that worked really well. Getting back and forth to school was a little harder. I took public transportation sometimes, but you know how you're always missing the bus and then you have to wait another half hour, so I would just go home. This really became unsustainable very, very quickly. So I understand, the people that say, I can't do that. I couldn't do it. It was too hard, and I was getting home too late, completely exhausted, so I had to get a car. So what I did is I gave myself a gas allowance, and let me tell you, I looked at my car like such a luxury. The first time I got back into it, it was just like, wow, this is amazing. So I really had to be strict on myself to only use the car if the weather was really bad, if I had several classes back to back and, needed to get some dinner in between, or if I had many groceries to pick up, or if I was going long distances. I really encourage you to try to do that, is to try to start looking at your car like a luxury item. And once you start to do that, you can start to be creative in other ways. I actually saw a guy who was on rollerblades, and he had a dog that would pull him. It was a sled dog. It was a real sled dog that would pull him. This was really creative and ingenious. I read about another guy who paddled his way to work, some sort of canoe or some sort of boat-like thing, and that was another very creative way. I read about another guy who ice skated to work, and I knew a guy who actually skated to our church on occasion because it was behind a creek. So try to be really creative and utilize all these things at the same time and see if this helps. This is really, really a difficult cost. Post your own ideas, and post if you've been able to save money on gas and how you've been able to do it, and how your transportation costs have gotten less if you've been able to do that. So hopefully some of these tips will help. And again, if you're doing all these things comprehensively and trying to make them into a lifestyle, this can be really, really helpful, and will put some extra cash in your pocket.